this weekend, though, and Perkz on Akali. Jensen with the LeBlanc is a really good answer into Akali, so it's already been banned out here, not going to be the opportunity. And is this, Nocturne, shove your wave, go make plays early on.
So fun data coming into the day. Nocturne, one of about 5 champs who are 100% pick ban in top leagues this patch. Nocturne, 1 pick, 12 bans. The 1 pick was against Cloud9 yesterday. Cloud9 won that game. They are still the only team to leave Nocturne up in this patch of the game. I find that interesting. The trend continues.
I also like what they traded for it, because anytime you point out, oh yeah, what are they doing? This champion's always banned. They got a Diana pick for jungle, which is protected by a Zven ban. So this is basically premier jungler pick right now. With Zven and Diana being the top 2, they get the other one having banned out Zven. And the Kalista, as far as bottom lane priority, has been dominating. So many good combinations you can play with it on the bottom side down there right now. The Gragas is also gaining a lot of steam as far as support options. With the Aphelios and Braum, it's not quite as safe as like an Aphelios Thresh, even an Aphelios Tahm Kench, but does have that kind of counter-engaged look that they know to try and protect for the Aphelios.
One of the things I really like about the Diana is it opens up for the AD solo laners, which is something that Cloud9 really does like to play, with Rumble kind of falling off the map as far as another one of those strong AP junglers. Diana really does rise in value. Rakan coming through is interesting because Rakan is not seen as one of these dominant laners. And going up against the Braum, it now feels like they're more comfortable to look towards 5v5, to look towards the utility and the engage that Rakan goes for, instead of just playing purely for lane domination.
Sure, and now Team Liquid also set themselves up in a pretty good spot in the draft where they've got premier flexibility. The Nocturne can play in the 3 outstanding roles with no problem at all. I'm partial to him being in the jungle, but obviously is a solid laner as well. And so we see, okay, well, here's our Gangplank ban. We can throw maybe another top lane ban. It's like, that's fine. Top Nocturne's like one of the 2 best top laners in the game. It's chill.
It certainly is a lot of lane priority there and a lot of working with your jungler. So one of the things I'm looking at here is the dangling jungle pick for Team Liquid. Armao, him even tweeting out about wanting to step up after yesterday's performance.
Yep.
It technically could be Nocturne jungle, there's flexibility there, but I definitely see it much more as a solo lane pick right now, and especially a solo lane pick to push and be able to help out with a jungler that wants to make their own moves and wants to control some of the early game.
Well, the Armao Sejuani is still up. If you look at his 4 LCS games so far, his Sejuani's 2-0. He's got like a 13 KDA. You look at his other stuff, it's like a 1 KDA and 2 losses. It's like pretty rough. He's been jungle diff when not on that champion.
Definitely works quite well with the melee solo laners, Nocturne being one of them. Let's see here, though. The Kennen also banned out on top of the Gangplank, so these are just some Jenkins signature picks, most played champions, most well-equipped on them as well.
Alrighty, Cloud9 need to show solo lanes. Both these teams have grabbed the bot lane. Diana is in the jungle 99% of the time for Cloud9. Nocturne, as we mentioned several times, is flexible, so Viego will go into one of those 2 solo lanes, and they get to wait for the last one.
And I kind of like what Cloud9 are putting together. This is a very, very snowball composition. They have the Rakan able to set up for big groupings for Diana ultimates to come down. And then you've got varying damage types here. As you mentioned, AD solo laners pair so well with jungle Diana, so Viego can get set up to get those resets, and they're looking to dive in and try and snowball on Team Liquid, whereas Team Liquid have a lot of outs for later on into the game. Aphelios and Azir both have super high damage potential as the game progresses, and if they can keep them safe with Darkness, with Braum, then you are well equipped to try and fight these objectives.
I think the Nocturne is actually a key pick here because it's so difficult to coordinate your dives properly in a 5v5 when the Nocturne ult does come through. Especially if you're going to be playing what is presumably going to be a 4 melee comp that looks like what C9 is heading towards. It's very popular in the meta. You would then be trying to dive through potential Azir ult, the Braum in the way, the pillar coming through, the Nocturne darkness makes it very difficult. But Yone as the answer here to the Azir. Perkz had some great games in spring on it. We have not seen it come back in summer yet, but this is the expected 4 melee style comp, hard engage, dive to the back line. I think they have got to play from ahead. I don't see how you're going to be able to match up in an even game when you get to the later stages. So difficult to fight through Braum, through the Azir wall, and through this Trundle that's really going to be slowing down all of these melee champions.
Absolutely. Now, there's no easy aftershock targets. You're not getting the most resists ever. You're not leeching a Leona or a Sejuani or something. But yes, the front line on TL is better than your front line. The back line on TL is also better than your back line.
But guess what Cloud9 does better? And that is dive. Dive, 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 baby. This composition, we always look at, who's going to be the dive buddy for the one that's starting it out?
Everybody.
Power of
friendship.
There are 5 buddies on screen right now. Even Kalista is an AD carry dive buddy that likes to get right in there. So it's going to be interesting to see, can the Team Liquid defensive line keep their carries up in these fights at all? Cover of Darkness is going to be great to work around anytime you have that vision denial, but it is going to be an all-out blitz from this Cloud9 lineup.
Alrighty, on to the Rift we go. Team Liquid and Cloud9, 2 of the winningest teams in LCS history. They're both top 3 in title count. They're 1 game apart in the standings. They fought to Game 5 in the spring finals. They fought to, I believe, Game 5 in the lock-in finals. Like, these teams have been battling back and forth, and we get the next chapter in this book. Perkz gets himself the Yone, and I am excited to see this one happen.
I especially am excited to see about the early playmaking here, because generally Nocturne, Jenkins, you're going to want to play up, push in your wave versus Fudge, but they can make that lane volatile if they want to coordinate with Blaber. So it's an interesting push and pull. Blaber on Diana, you usually want to get a first clear as your full clear to stay on course for experience, looking for that level 6 where you get your real power. But sometimes, and especially Cloud9, can throw some of these early variations into their paths.
And Trundle, if it does kind of fall back into one of those full clear style games, Trundle just does not clear the AoE camps very well, in comparison. No. This is one of those things where you kind of need a completed item, whether you're going Iron Spike Whip or you're going towards your Balmy Cinder. You need something to kind of help you speed up that clear. So if Blaber is in that situation, he's going to be playing from an advantage. He's going to be clearing the jungle camps faster.
So, easy start on the blue buff. Trundle definitely good at the single target camps. A very safe clear as well. Heals for the camps max health if they die, so no problem there. Blaber doing similar stuff on his side of the map.
Yeah, I'd say Trundle almost above any. Maybe Warwick is there with you, but as a jungle champion, that you basically should always just be looking at all your lane matchups, because you don't have to look at the camps that you're doing at all.
The Q mechanics, Kobe.
You basically just walk back, try and leash the camp closer to the other ones, and it'll take care of itself. Your Q auto reset is literally the only skill expression. They have juiced up Trundle quite a lot with extra attack speed on the W over several patches for a long period of time. So that is something that does help out with the power.
But that's mostly on the rank up. The rank 1 W is still only 30% attack speed. It's plus 20% per rank, and I feel like most pros are still maxing Pillar on Trundle second, obviously. You're always maxing Q first, I think, in a lot of cases. But that means that a lot of that power is not tapped in until you're very late game, and yeah, Trundles are building tank and pro. So unfortunately, for solo queue, it's great.
Originally, the W was only 20% at rank 1,
okay, so it is some.
So it is some. They also buffed the level 1 as well.
Okay, valid point. Well, clears are going through. Diana already onto her red buff. Trundle skipping his Raptors, also on his red buff, so no one is surprised. Diana, in fact, a faster clear. Jensen battling Perkz. Perkz has got his Q3 ready, though. Gets the knock up. Jensen does not get the sidestep, and Perkz comes away nicely on that trade.
Yeah, a nice little trade there from Perkz, and you've got to be able to stay fairly aggressive to not just get run over in these matchups as Yone. Every time the E is up, every time the Q3 is up, you've got to be threatening these little trades onto Jensen, or he will have you pushed in. He will poke you down to the point where you're not going to be able to get enough farm.
I like Armao crossing backwards here to secure top Scuttle Crab, but also just to be in position for the counter gank. As we said at the very beginning, Nocturne, you're always shoving this lane, always looking to get, lane pressure and early possible move. So Armao, by virtue of getting top Scuttle Crab, yes, you give the extra safety, getting the Scuttle Crab, as well as the extra vision, but you also are in place if Jenkins needs some assistance for, finishing off the wave or counter ganking.
And going top was great because they had bot prio, right? So there's no ability of Diana to actually trade. That was the only side she could have got Scuttle on. So he passed back towards top, takes that. His bot bot helps him secure this bottom side scuttle, and he's going to get both.
And the next layer I should say is that Blaber obviously knows this. You know, there was no, even hinting at wasting time for Blaber with the bottom side pushing in. He just does the full clear, does Krugs, he accepts the double scuttle to the Team Liquid side and just goes for his deep ward into continuing on second clear.
I've got an extra little bit as well, because we can keep going. It's so fun to look at this. TL had also gotten a deep ward on Blaber's blue side. So they saw Gromp is down, blue is down. They know Diana started bot side, so she's going bot to top. They know the only thing she would contest is top scuttle. Bot scuttle is not even possible for Diana to go for. So, Armao gets to do the path back, get top scuttle, walk to bottom scuttle, and then just begin the cycle again. So perfect information, at least perfect inference, and it's a pretty good start where the Trundle is the one out-farming Diana because of lane pressure and smart pathing.
Yeah, and I am somewhat concerned for Cloud9, as a result of not only the scuttle control, but also the fact that they did go for this Kalista with a relatively weak lane pairing, so they do have to play it very defensively, and that's going to depend on Perkz.
5 HP left on him, able to get the recall off. I think he knew he was okay with the snapback, but Jensen gets him within 1 auto of dying.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a bit of a rough recall. Has TP, now a dive in the bottom side, but that root's going to be good onto Vulcan. 1 auto from being stunned up there as well. A good counterpunch by TL.
So we'll see when Blaber can actually get into some of these lanes and mix things up. Because for now, it's been Jenkins nonstop push. It's been the bot lane with nonstop push. It's been Jensen with nonstop push. So he has got to shake something up, give them some sort of a winning lane. Because we already talked about the scaling advantage that TL have. Like, they're going to have the edge.
The thing is, he hasn't had that opportunity yet. So there's no real criticism here because by virtue of the matchups,
of course,
of Nocturne on top side, of the Azir into Perkz here early on. So yes, he is kind of looking for that big play. And again, it is off of level 6 power spike.
Here we go. Another fight in the top side, and Trundle with bottom pressuring gets to go for the first dragon. I love seeing a dragon attacked pre-6. Feels outstanding when you feel that comfortable. You just got your Sheen recall off, you're feeling good. It's going to be, looks like Divine Thunder or Trundle. Love that build as well. It actually allows him to be somewhat self-sufficient. He can actually duel a Diana pretty well. With Red Smite, you're going to feel pretty comfy there. So Armao is going to be reasonable. Did not go for like the Tiamat for fast clear, but he has the dueling power. A turret plate taken to bot side, as again, we saw that Dragon goes over to Team Liquid, so a great early start to the squad.
I always like these builds as well for Trundle. If you're assuming that Cloud9 has to play to dive backline, this gives you more threat on these champions as they're trying to fight past you, right? You can't just ignore Azir and Aphelios. If they're going to target them, well, slap them up with the Divine Thunder.
And the sustain wars on the front lines here with everybody going Conqueror and there being so much healing in all these kits is incredibly important. If they can stay alive for the first death. Here we go for the decent trade from Perkz, though. Every time you have your E up going for that pressure trade onto Jensen, trying to get him to think about, ooh, Diana's hitting level 6 soon. So as they're trying to make these matchups more spicy, some of these trades that you see, come more frequently now, they are timed with a purpose.
Absolutely, and you can see that, with that trade from Perkz, I think if Jensen hadn't dodged the Q3, that might have been a kill with ulti. Snaps back, a bit of a mistiming by CoreJJ, thought he could predict it, didn't quite do so. Perkz going to be mostly okay here, not going to be in threat of being dove or anything. It's not a level 6 Braum. But yeah, you can see he's got a 9 CS lead here in mid, and that's with both mids burning TP. It's not like there's a cooldown difference there. That's just Perkz winning his 1v1 heads up.
And that's one of the things that can be a strength of Yone, is because you have this Q3, you have the ability, alongside your E, to consistently poke away and threaten these ranged champions in a way that some other melee champions have to commit more heavily to do. I don't even think he's going to hit him much here. He's just going to try to push him off the tower. It's mostly to actually zone him off, farm there, say, you're low health, I could threaten it all in here. What if you get ulted? So he makes Jensen back up, makes him pop the ulti, snaps back to safety, and now he's actually even going to push in the wave and deny a full wave. It's not a cannon.
And that's the critical point, is that this CS lead is not from him, taking Raptors and stuff. This is Perkz playing aggressively in lane and trying to deny.
Yeah. And he's absolutely crushing it. Like, enough can't be said about how much Perkz is completely dominating the 1v1 so far. Sure, there's more game to be played. An individual gold lead of 300 does not mean the game is over. No. But it's in his court. 78 CS is the highest of anyone but the free-farming Aphelios. So a very fed Yone is going to feel pretty good. Jenkins and Fudge doing battle. Gets the fear off. Doesn't really matter too much as Fudge is getting his own CS lead finally back.
I have to say, now is the time where you really start this, clock on Blaber. He is post-level 6 Diana with double buffs, and you have your Dark Seal, so you want to go create plays. When you get your Dark Seal, the rewards are really big for some of these skirmishes and double kills that you can try and force. He's actually slipped in through lane brush, and I really love whenever we see lane ganks like this, especially supported by control wards.
And that's where I kind of expect him to maybe try to group up with Vulcan, but he's just going straight in.
Dive is in, finds the knockback, spell shield comes in, gonna try to run away, ult Q, and a final punch means a kill! Mid lane as well, Vulcan's there for the support, and just like that, Cloud9 are 2-0.
Both solo laners killed at the same time there. That is huge. They even get the flashes off of both of them, limiting the potential response from TL.
The rarely seen two-pronged attack of jungle gank at the same time as support gank, Azael. In the mid lane there, Vulcan makes his level 6 known as well. And guess what? That's even better than a jungler because the support's coming with Ignite there as well. Extra damage goes through, and they get both solo laners from the side of Team Liquid killed off with minion waves pushing as well.
Alrighty, Tactical. Still, he is farming. This is now the one good thing for TL is they have a winning bot lane. And by the way, that's almost first turret. They're basically just showing up to the wave with a Trundle summoning Herald to suddenly crash like 1,000 gold into the pockets. And this can turn the game all the way back.
And that's kind of why Vulcan had to get out of lane, get something done. But we can see this in our Honda performance play. They're waiting for Jenkins, biding their time. Fudge not giving it away, not overextending towards him. And once the gap is closed, ult him in, easy follow-up to get the kill.
Maybe a little bit of a couple seconds could have been gained there, but here's the mid lane gank. Vulcan goes in. There's way too much CC for Jensen to try and dodge. Earlier was highlighted in the replay files about his skill shot dodging ability. Guess what? You're not dodging that Rakan plus Yone.
The one cooldown missing. Yeah, bot lane tier 2. And again, it's worth more gold this patch. So a huge influx in cash gets TL ahead, and Tactical is 1,000 over everyone. But in the top lane, Jenkins just going to die 1v1'd by the jungler.
Team Liquid more like Team Tactical now, Phreak, because all of their gold is on Tactical. He is the one at the top of the charts, but everybody else is hurting from all the ganks from Cloud9. So it's going to be Aphelios carry there. He did finish off his first mythic. Perkz another aggressive tower dive. But again, this is going to be Team Liquid all aboard the Aphelios train. They've been working on this one for a while.
And I'm kind of wondering, how much of an effect can Zven even have in this game? He's actually 1,600 gold behind Tactical now. This is an early game champ, and you are monstrously down.
And as much as you would think, oh, this whole map looks like it's winning for Cloud9 with all these ganks in mid and top side and effective use there, these are objectives. Again, consecutive ones for Team Liquid. A gank on mid.
Flash down, the fear matters, but they don't have the follow-up damage. Didn't want to dive the tower the rest of the way for 2 more autos and balks and gives it out.
And among AD carries, Aphelios is positioned prime and very, very well just to be able to take out a lot of these melee-heavy compositions if you can protect him with the Braum and you can get the right guns. It definitely is doable to kill a lot of short-range champions. You have to deal with all the CC and you have to actually be able to auto-attack, but the damage output can at least be there.
Especially if he goes towards Hurricane, 4 melee champs, the Infernum on top, the amount of AoE is insane. He's got CoreJJ there to protect him with the exhaust, with the Guardian. And we've seen Tactical actually be really good, some really clever moves with the Gale Force to actually dodge out from some of the CC. So expecting him to be able to play that well here too.
All right, wait forward. As Mythics are coming across, 2 done on the Team Liquid side, 2 for Cloud9 as Perkz has probably been a while till he's shot, still on Vamp Tactical's boots. Decent damage into Jensen, good size up most of the Qs, wants to get back in with his team, but yeah, he's gonna be too far away as the soul comes back.
And Perkz actually has 2,500 gold in pocket. So he's basically waiting for a full mythic completion, I think, at this point. And he is quite a lot ahead, a good 1,200 gold ahead of Jensen. So there's just different areas of power, right? Clearly, it's the bot lane for TL. And right now, it's Blaber and Perkz, this diving duo, who are going to have to try to eliminate Tactical, to eliminate that point of strength.
Yeah, and I like that we're kind of seeing the turret changes in action because The extra gold added to secondary turrets, I feel like it's one of the really big, but not talked about as much parts of the patch. We'll see the engage on top side first. Maybe they actually go for it.
Yeah, no easy way out for Blaber without flash, but the pillar's not going to be enough to change anything, so ultimately not going to matter.
And one of the big benefits of a lot of gold coming from turrets is that that doesn't contribute to bounties. Farms, kills, all that stuff can get bounties added to your head, but Tactical here still sitting without one.
There we go. Big dive comes across. Huge damage from Diana. Tactical flash into safety, but then his flash follow. Staying alive for a second, but finally dropped down by Blaber. TP's now coming in as well. Is it going to be enough? Shield bow in for the Yone, and he is here with his team. Big damage coming back. They're going to try to find that kill. The dive forge is barely alive. Nocturne can't take it happen, and it's going to be 2 kills now for Cloud9. Vulcan on 1 hit, and they can't get that one either. Cloud9 take the team fight 3-0.
Oh my goodness, the dive is successful, and it is the fight to try and keep Tactical alive. Team Liquid lose it this time around. Gale Force, Flash, and Heal all used to no avail there as Cloud9. Blaber came in a really effective flash there, locks him up, they charge down. Aphelios taken out so early on that then you see that snowball effect that we are alluding to in Champ Select in action.
Yeah.
Here's the opening.
Exactly. They saw Trundle go back, so they knew it was just the 2 members there. Blaber stays for the long con. They find the engage. He gets in, piles in on top, finishes off the Aphelios, and it's just insult to injury that the solo laner is getting zoned out by the double TP, and they can't even kill the Rakan.
It's so close. They couldn't finish off Blaber, then they can't even finish off the support as big old Papa Fudge comes through with the ult.
And they're going to try to find a little bit more there as Perkz just comes right back to his spots and nearly kills Jensen, but he at least stays alive. Whew, Cloud9, yes, what a great start. But let's temper it somewhat. 2,400 gold lead, though it is certainly meaningful, does not end the game for TL. Cloud9 fans should be good that, yes, you should be feeling comfortable. Your team is winning. TL, you are not out of this game. You got the 2 dragons. If you can keep going towards that one, you have answered this gold difference. And keep in mind, right, this Mountain Drake, it is functionally raw stats that does, you know, somewhat directly answer the gold lead somewhat.
And the other thing about snowballing and trying to keep this pressure for Cloud9 going with their extra gold lead as opposed to the Drake stacking for Team Liquid is that you are actually even more rewarded because 250 gold for every secondary tower being added there does raise the importance of these secondary Rift Heralds as well. That was just picked up by Cloud9 because you can actually convert it more easily into more item effectiveness for your team fights and continue to try and push really strongly ahead. Gold chart remains the same though. It is just Team Tactical over there trying to keep that Aphelios alive. The game plan for Cloud9, regardless of if Tactical was super fed or not, was going to be, you know, dive and kill this Aphelios anyways though. So it doesn't change too much if they're able to accomplish that.
And I think at the end of the day, we're not even going to see TL potentially contest for this because Tactical is your guy and he's got no flash and he's going to have no flash for this next fight, and I think it's going to be too dangerous to actually enter for that dragon with all this hard engage with multiple flashes available to be able to throw members in on top of Tactical. I feel like TL probably has to give this up. If they feel that their only way to win is for Soul, then sure, contest, but otherwise it's so tough for him to survive.
And I like what Cloud9 are doing in this setup here to be able to push this Rift Herald forward. They actually sacrifice it. They don't even get the charge off just to get the full vision control of that dragon and move into to actually take the objective first. This way, Team Liquid, as you're saying, it was already going to be very risky, and now it's just like, nope, I am not walking into darkness blind here versus this. Completely have to give it up.
So they send the resource over as fast as they realize it. Azir is already in the top lane. They've sent Nocturne to answer the Viego, which might still be tough. And in fact, yeah, there's more than a Viego there. You're 1v3. Jenkins gonna sidestep the knockup, gonna spell shield to get away from what he can, but still knocked up by the Rakan. The fear matters, but Ignite might be it. And just for good measure, Perkz lands the Q3, gets the kill, and down goes Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins doing about as well as he could. Had the fear tether on the Perkz, tried to get out, cannot do it. Having a rough one here, has been picked on, but we're kind of getting the 2 very defined playstyles that teams go for against each other, right? It's dragon stacking, playing towards bot lane versus trying to accrue a gold lead, and that's kind of what C9 has accomplished here. They've stopped the Soul snowball, and now they are in a position of power, and it's going to be up to TL to either close the gold lead or just try to outfight them in a 5v5.
It's one of the cool things that has kind of evolved over the years with Team Liquid versus Cloud9 in that they both do always seem to, at least to some degree, come back to these different identities. Cloud9, they draft a lot to fight early on. They like to fight a lot early on. A lot of these skirmishes, a lot of trying to snowball. Team Liquid generally feel like they are chasing strategies that delay a bit and build up for stronger carries for later and try and play more structured team fights.
And 0 kills on the board, sadly. Team Liquid trying to find that later team fight before the goal difference gets too big. Flash Engage is going to find the target. Azir shuffles back and gets back out of range. So the first dive doesn't happen, but now it's going to force the stopwatch out. The full Zonias from Blaber, and he doesn't have an escape route. So finally a kill on the board, and crucially that money goes to Aphelios. Team Tactical has still got gold in the right places.
Yeah, and he's got his Hurricane complete. He will have his flash for the next big fight that they're looking for. So they're going to want to play around him. They're going to try to find this success. And that was kind of a good example of a way that TL can win these fights. You survive the initial dive, you disengage, and then you turn around and take people as they are trying to exit out.
And one of the big stars of the team, always CoreJJ. He's got exhaust. He is Braum, so he has so many tasks ahead of him as far as keeping tactical upright in these fights. And we'll see if he can be up to the task. When you're looking at which of these melee divers do I actually use the exhaust on, sometimes it can be tricky because the Yone has options of snapping back out with the E. Generally, I'd say the Viego is the most hard commit of them because Blaber, as the Diana, also has a Zonias and you stasis during it. So it's kind of picking and choosing the highest threat of those divers that is trying to get onto tactical and using your abilities accordingly. Of course, the ultimate is always going to be critical as well, and trying to get to an objective first. If Team Liquid get there first, if the Dragon tables are reversed this time around, they have vision and they have setup, it is so much easier for them because then, yes, CoreJJ and Jensen have so many more things they can use to actually peel.
All right, watch for the peel. The flash is up. Tactical's got everything except his summoner heal right now as the mid wave is pushed in, defended somewhat by the Kalista, and realistically without a lantern, you just can't walk up for turret damage. The chain CC is going to knock you down, and even if a Braum puts a shield up, the auto attacks for the melee champs are still going to go through. So not much to be seen there. Frozen Heart on the way for Armao, but he can't even get his own jungle, being attacked constantly. Cloud9 still the stronger team on the map. Blue buff taken away. They took several camps in the last few minutes, and the gold lead still stays at 3,500.
And Team Liquid, they're well accustomed to this. As we said, these are a lot of strategies that they have run for a long time. Risk averse is a term that is applicable for this team. Usually, definitely is here. Need to seed some of these smaller value objectives in order to buy that time for a better setup for your fight.
Well, we are on team fight guns right now for Tactical. Red, white, that's the combo you look at. That's when you get the really big single target damage.
One of my favorite sayings, red, white, don't fight, is what my friend yells all the time versus Aphelios. That's a wand special.
Mm-hmm. But that's when you're Cloud9. And I mean, Cloud9, the words "don't fight," I don't think don't calculate. I don't think that's one thing they're going to listen to when you've got a perfect 2-item Yone.
Yeah, exactly. They're playing from a position of power, so I don't think they're that worried about it. They want to continue going for these. I don't think you're going to want to give over that potential soul point. Vulcan will have to exit, but Aphelios is really strong. I mean, he's got the correct guns. He's got 2.5 items. He's got the flash, Gale Force available. So it's going to be down to execution. And it's actually TL first with the move towards this dragon. C9 doesn't have vision on it right now.
They don't, but they do have both pushing side lanes. And this is something they should try and utilize because they have the teleport there from Perkz. Yes, the Nocturne ultimate is available, but it doesn't get used early, so they arrive.
All right, is this fight going to work out for him? Look for the smite battle as Blaber's in range. Armao's around. They need the front line to be there. Jenkins waiting in the wings to dive in afterwards. And here comes the charm. They find Tactical. Now get in the way. Keep him alive. Half health already. The Dragon's been taken by Cloud9, but so far Tactical is alive. And he's going to crit down the kill. But Blaber just sets it up, and Zven is going to knock him down. 3 kills instantly.
Blaber with that ult. He just catches him on the edge. Tactical. He got his first kill, and he's looking to continue with the shurikens, but Diana just brings the moon down on his head.
Man, there are just so many Cloud9 threats. The exhaust is already on cooldown. Everyone piling in on top, and TL does not have enough to deal with that final threat of Blaber flying in, knocking down the Aphelios. They get the dragon, they get the kills, they'll take the Baron, and Cloud9 on fire in this game.
Looking good. Baron picked up, sub 24 minutes. Easy recall. All 5, I believe, are even wearing the buff. This is so much power to Cloud9. A 6,000 gold lead, and they're going to get a lot out of this one.
It's also so beneficial here because these secondary turrets that we keep on talking about being juiced with extra gold now on this patch, all 3 are left standing, and that means they are easy pickings there with the Baron. You can push all 3 lanes here for Cloud9 with their setup. They don't have their teleports anymore, so they just have to be a little bit cognizant as to the positioning of Team Liquid and their Nocturne, because Jenkins does have the ultimate available.
Yeah, we can watch this one more time on the pro view, securing the Dragon. The Nocturne ultimate making it pretty difficult. Perkz gets taken down, but in he goes, connects with the ulti. The Ren comes through from Zven right over top. All the AoE damage landing at once.
Actually just so insane there. Blaber gets the suck in from the first part of that Diana ultimate, and then just barely, when the damage part comes down, is able to catch them. Well timed with Zven and the Rend as well.
I think he rocket belted to reposition slightly to make the explosion damage hit. So, good job kind of saving that one extra cooldown to make sure he caught people. And yeah, he was the killing blow on Tactical, I believe. And that would have meant so much more if Tactical had survived it. Suddenly he can start shooting back.
I'm going to say, Perkz have an incredible weekend. Yesterday on the Akali, monster game. Today on the Yone, running over Jensen in the early game. Crushing it in the team fights has been looking really, really good.
He has been. So now it's time to see how much the base you can knock down. Already plus 3,000 gold in the Red Bull Baron power play, thanks to the side lane turrets being worth that money in top and bot to get the extra cash in there. And as Armao can try to hold front line, he's got to really be careful. The knockups, the aggro doesn't matter if Vulcan actually gets between shots anyway, but has the shield, who cares?
Definitely a big difference between Perkz no cap and Perkz cap.
It's reunited, Perkz and caps. It's a good combo.
Still did Jack though. He was getting 2 for 1 deal. Signing EU mid laners there.
What a deal.
Well, he's looking great. 8,000 gold lead. Just going to move on past that one. It was too good of a joke, so I can't acknowledge it. 600 individual gold onto Perkz as he's getting richer. Mid lane under fire. Azir is one of the better wave crew champs. You can auto-attack those with the soldiers from like 1,000 range away. It's not too bad. Perkz has to be a bit respectful, but he's going to be able to walk away in time. Still has over 1,000 health, not in too much danger as yet. But that one mid lane wave was answered. We're down to the last 30 seconds of the Baron buff.
Every time Perkz takes an E like this, that's even remotely close to Team Liquid for the origin point, I keep thinking, are Team Liquid going to try and punish it? Are they going to try and set up on it? Armao is a little bit close to that one, but they don't go for it. Again, risk averse is the name of the game for them. I will say, though, you get more heavily punished now because there's more gold available on the map of Summoner's Rift, just straight up. And Cloud9,
Jensen
taking it.
Goes to the side, does not get knocked up, but what? I don't know what that was. Maybe he got hit by a
What do they? They don't know who's the tallest. They don't know who's the oldest.
Are we back into live?
Yes, we are. We are back.
Baby. Woo! Woo!
Jensen, can you move, though? You're in the spot you died last time. Is it a black hole? He got out!
Oh, my goodness. The greatest escape.
Yeah.
All right, back in here, though, for Team Liquid. Just a little recap if you're just joining us now. The TLDR, Cloud9 slamming them.
Yeah, absolutely. Perkz just bought a full Randuin's on that base, so he's feeling like he doesn't need more damage, just needs the survivability to be able to dive in, finish out this game. Very likely, it is going to be finished through a turret dive, which I think makes the Randuin's even more valuable there. So I actually like the build quite a bit. It's super efficient item.
Looking for damage, knock up onto Azir. Jensen's the ulti away, nearly will die to the E, but gets over the wall, snaps out, he's gonna be all right. 9,000 gold lead in Cloud9, running in for their 3rd dragon.
And again, these neutral objectives out here, this Dragon Soul point is not something that Team Liquid want to throw all of their chips on. This is not where you all in your bet on this game.
That's actually savage. That's a good tweet.
That's very clever. Good job. Once again, I won't acknowledge it any further. That's actually a funny joke. So, Dragon is a freebie. Cloud9 going to claim that one, no problem. They say, you know what? Why don't we have 2 of you hit it? Blaber's like, do I queue over the wall? Nah.
Yeah, TL just going to try to push top, try to get a little bit of gold back here, take away the Krugs, maybe threaten that tier 2 top. But for the most part, it's going to be Cloud9 pushing up here. My question is mostly about, do they try to finish the game pre-Baron? I think that's the only real question here. They may want to play towards that, but for now, they're playing 2 lanes. They sent Perkz back to answer the top lane push.
Yeah, I think a minute and a half and looking at this team, you for sure can just push out, keep your pressure up, litter the jungle with wards and wait for Baron to arrive, because if you can draw Team Liquid out into an open map away from turrets, then there's nothing that can stop this dive. There's nothing that's going to protect them, especially if C9 have this early positioning on the Baron area. You can see they're resetting now. Grab your control wards, you go sweep out all the vision. Then you can even get crazy engages with Rakan flanks. You have a Kalista ultimate to pull him back out if the flank doesn't even work. You have multiple angles for a Viego, for a Yone to come from, and those make protecting an Aphelios, protecting a Azir near impossible.
It's so hard. And when I'm playing from behind, I'm always trying to think about, all right, who can we maybe one-shot to actually save the game? And then you look over and you realize Zhonya's on Blaber, Stopwatch on Perkz, GA on Zven, and it's like, it feels so bad to be able to try to get past those luxury items when you're playing from so far behind.
All right, let's take a look at this setup then. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on Vulcan. Rakan has a lot of playmaking ability here for looking for the turn off of Baron. Whenever you have these late game setups, and especially when one team is so far ahead and they have access to a lot of crowd control, you're not looking at burning down on the Baron. You're looking at trying to turn on the opponent team, pick them off as they come try and do the dangerous check.
Waves go down in the mid. Baron is alive. Number 2 available for Cloud9.
Remember, for Team Liquid side, they can't actually waste a lot of time if they are going to throw their all-in bet at this Baron fight, because again, Cloud9 have Kalista, so if you let the Baron even get low.
In the front line loses almost 1,000 health instantly. Pillar pretty useless there. Blaber wasn't going in.
Yeah, and Viego's still threatening bot. Was pushing that up, did back off as Nocturne was in fog, but Cloud9, still just willing to play the side lanes. They have Zven actually up, pushing top lane right now. Perkz and Blaber trying to get the wave shoved out here mid and trying to draw TL to these side lanes to split them up, because TL, they know, wants to function as this 5v5 squad.
And I'm looking down the trinkets. Guess what? No more Scryer's orbs available for Team Liquid, so now it is crunch time. No information available, so they're trying to do the dangerous check here, and Cloud9 looking for at pick.
Zven hitting him, puts him down to 1K. They got to be careful if you're going to have a hard time frontlining.
And you look at this ward here, actually, over in that side lane on the side brush, they have this potential ward. So if TL is actually pushing up, they got a ward here, they got a ward here, and they even got a ward here for that TP flank. Viego just went back to base, finished an item, and he is ready to flank if they commit. I think we're going to see it.
Trinket shows 3K health. Ren Smite's going to be easy. Armao cannot be in range. They're going to claim it, and now comes the team fight, but with Baron in tow. Huge damage to the back line. Jenkins burns the hourglass. Diana in for 3, and that is tactical gone. Goodbye to the team fight. 3 already. Armao's going to be the 4th, and it's time for TL to turn tail and run. They've got the Emperor of absolutely nothing. Jensen got himself a chrono break, but he's still not coming away with the win as Cloud9 find their way to a victory. They get their 21st win in the 2021 season. They will close out the game, they will crush the base, and they will take their victory over Team Liquid.
They're going to finish this one emphatically, crushing through Team Liquid 15-2. They knock down the Nexus, no doubt about it. Very well played from Cloud9.
And I want to give a lot of credit to Blaber, especially. The Diana so many times was bringing that extra knock-up or that extra damage to the dive. Blaber jumping in, flashing forward with the Diana. So many of the critical picks, early on in top side, towards the bottom by that dragon fight, getting the extra damage down onto tactical. So we're in a world where everybody's diving in. Diana really was the linchpin to bring it all together.
Despite all the peel, despite Tactical having the most gold on his team and nearly more than everyone on Cloud9 either, could not stay alive. Diana closed the gap every single time, and it was more so Blaber. It wasn't really the Yone that much. Blaber was the one who got the damage, got the dive in, and through a Braum, through an Azir, through a Gale Force and a Flash, he still found his target, he still got in, still got the kill.
All right, now to the real business. Which of you is the leader of the Doug duo? Because that's definitely not me.
It's definitely not you. I can't believe they would suggest that. The imposter in the trio. I coined the term.
Phreak can have it because he's the one who wants to talk about it all the time.
Exactly.
I don't even bring up the Doug duo. I've just been drafted into it. I had no choice.
You've had a choice, and you're happy to be part of the Doug duo. Now, after the break,
kind of sus.
Wow. After the break, we will hear from Fudge in the Verizon post-game interview. Don't go anywhere.
All right.